to the Chase podcast, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Cut to the Chase podcast. I am Mr. Chase Abel. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm always appreciative of you guys. Thank you for listening. Always. I'm very happy that we are moving forward with this podcast with all the help and listeners. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. We are on all podcast platforms. Go to YouTube. Please just hit subscribe, like, and share. It helps a lot. And you know, we're going to be doing a lot more content and being involved with you guys. So just please do it. It's a nice thing to do. And Christmas is around the corner. Not really, but whatever. This episode is going to be fun. Right off the bat, I'm just going to say, hey, my Boston Celtics, man, they're in the finals. This is going to be a very heavily driven sports episode in regards to because listen, guys, a lot of you guys know that I'm from Boston. I'm a Boston guy. I'm a sports guy. You have to be here. If you're not, you're pretty much dead to everybody. If you're from Boston, you gotta be a sports person. So if you're into sports, this is going to be a great episode for you. And if you're not into sports, it's still going to be a great episode because you may learn some things. Not from me, but definitely from Nicky. So that was Nicky agreeing, by the way. Nicky Neighborhoods. Brother, we're in the finals, dude.
We're here. I didn't think we were going to be here.
You didn't think that we weren't going to make the finals?
Here's where it started. It started mid-season.
Now ease into it. I know you're already fired up.
It started mid-season when we were 8th in the East.
Okay.
And I was like, this team has no leader. They don't play defense.
Right.
They have two stars, air quotes, that sometimes they'll show up, sometimes they won't. They can drop 50 points whenever they want, but sometimes they don't want to.
You sound like the GM that drafted Sam Bowie instead of Michael Jordan.
I get a lot of hot takes. I was unconsciously preparing for this episode before it even happened. So mid-season, right. We're 8th in the East, okay, which is no man's land. If you're a low seed in the East, it's dark. It is dark. Toronto, Chicago. Chicago actually did a little bit better this year, but it's a dark place to be.
Yeah.
And in a city like Boston, you might as well just be last. We don't like mediocrity. So we don't like, except
the comedy scene, but that's
aside from the comedy scene, which at one point used to be one of the best in the country. We don't appreciate mediocrity here. So that was that. And then they picked it up and it was like, oh, okay, this team can make some moves. But, if you're a basketball head in Boston, you're just going to go, they're going to, Giannis. First of all, Kevin Durant and Kyrie.
Yeah.
Then Giannis. Yeah. Then Jimmy Butler.
Right.
Those teams were really good.
What I gathered, right? Well, because we got to break this up a little bit, right?
Sure.
Now, I agree with you. The first half of the season and the team that was second half of the season, totally different.
Completely different. What changed?
I think the trading deadline trade.
Oh, yeah, we picked up Derek White.
White was huge.
Yeah.
Tice, as much as even though he's not getting a lot of playing time in the postseason, he helped us with just giving a different, versatile big man who can guard multiple positions.
You used a good word there, guard. Defense.
Yeah.
We started playing defense.
We started playing team defense more collectively and in committing to it. Yeah. Like committing to it, right? So the thing is with the Celtics, right? If you look at the Boston Celtics, aside from Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, who are stars, mm-hmm. right? Marcus Smart is right there, and is hovering as being a star.
If Marcus Smart was on the Kings, he would be averaging 25 points a game. I think he would be.
It would be a lot. It takes a lot for Marcus Smart to average 25 points a game because he does so much on the other end of the court.
But if he was on a lesser team, then he wouldn't have to do all these things because they would just be like, Marcus, we just need you to score.
To score.
It's almost like a curse that he's a good defender, a great defender. He's a defensive player of the year. He's the best defender because that does slow you down and that does fuck up your body.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For
sure. Somebody told me that they kind of remind him of he reminds them of Tony Allen, and I said no. Tony, great defender, first team all defense multiple times. I think multiple times if I'm not mistaken. Definitely a couple times for sure. One time for sure.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart's a little different. He could score a little better than Tony.
He's got a
better he's a better shooter.
Offensive game.
Yeah. So he's a little bit more all around. He's a better passer.
Tony Allen used to get hype when he would make an uncontested layup.
Tony and also Tony Allen was like a thorough dude. Like he was a tough dude. Just like Marcus Smart is.
Yeah, Marcus is.
Yeah, Tony was coming to play defense only. Like that was like he created his offense. His offense was created. His offense was created off the defense that he manufactured.
Yeah,
Marcus Smart, if he didn't play defense, he can still score.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Yeah, Marcus has a good jump shot. Marcus can shoot the ball. Even though he went 0 for 5 in the last minute of the game,
which I swear to God, I threw everything that I had at my TV.
Stop shooting.
But then I loved him when he got fouled and put it up and hit his 2 foul shots for us to go up 4 with a minute 21 seconds left.
Yes, he is everyone's favorite Celtic.
He's a love-hate relationship person,
and that you have to be that to be a Celtic.
He's the crazy girlfriend that you had in college that you couldn't get away from.
Yeah,
but you wanted her around.
I think he's like the son of where you're just like you want him to be Larry Bird. Like you just want him to be ice cold shooting. You want him to have all these things, but then you're like, God, I still love this guy anyways. Like, how the fuck am I going to get mad at him?
You know what? There's certain. I want to touch on that a little bit. There's certain people that have that no matter what they do, people still gonna like them and forgive them. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever been that person.
I think I have.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I think. I don't know if it's good. Maybe
because you come from a good place. That's the thing. Is like
like I guess for me, it's like I never know generally what other people think of me. Mm-hmm. Because somebody said to me a long time ago. Actually, I think my friend Randy said this. He goes, "Your reputation is generally what people say behind your back, but never tell you in front of your face."
Yeah.
So I don't know what people generally say about me when I'm not in front of them. Mm-hmm. I would like for them, hopefully they say, hey, he's generally a nice guy. Mm-hmm. He's cool, but he's fucking, where he stands on certain things. Yeah. If anything. But there's certain people, they can make mistakes all the time and people still fucking will still take them in.
Yeah.
I never had that. I'm just like, how the fuck these people still give this guy a chance? Like it could be for work related, sports related.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Professional. I'm just like, maybe I'm a little jealous of those type of people. They just have the it fact. I don't know. Is it an it thing?
I think it's a very broad topic, but I think it's a very broad generalization about certain people. It's like there are those people. There's like addicts where you feel bad for the person. You really feel bad for someone, so you're like, this poor fucking come on, yes, come on, let's go. I'll take care of it. Yeah. And then there's people where it's just so undeniable that they're trying their best. That to me will always, if you have integrity and I can look at a situation and go like, oh yeah, but no, you're a good person and you were just trying your best. You were trying too hard. You were trying too hard. Like Marcus Smart, we were talking about him. He's one of those people because he just sustained a concussion from taking a charge. And you're like, okay, you threw that 3 up, but we wouldn't be up 5 points if you didn't take that charge and didn't sink those 2 free throws. Like, I can't really be that upset because you're going to do something to make up for it.
Oh, the thing is about Marcus Smart, you said it. I think you hit it right on the bat. The reason why he's so good is the fact that he always tries to make it up on the other end.
Yes.
So if he does do a turnover, an unforced turnover, or if he shoots a ball that he shouldn't have shot, what he does, he makes it up on the other end and he gets it. I've seen it multiple times.
Yes.
He'll take an offensive charge. He'll go for a steal. He'll block a shot. So it's never like one-sided with him, right?
He's also like he's
kind of like a new age Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Because people had a love-hate relationship with Dennis Rodman too. Like he would do like
that
some
way,
things in the game. You'd be like, "What are you doing?" But then he'll get like 25 rebounds and like, and you'd be like, and then he'll hit the foul shot like the weird way he would hit. Like he shot foul shots like he was like in Vegas, like he just
Dennis Rodman. Yeah. No, I think it's different because I think Marcus Smart is a much more talented player than Dennis Rodman ever was. I just think he makes up for it, and I think sometimes, because Boston sports fans are so smart, they are about sports. I've seen some pretty fucking stupid Boston sports fans in line at Dunkin'. Just listen to their order. But like, I think they know
coffee, no sugar.
Yeah, double, extra, extra. Do you want coffee in that fucking milkshake?
Oh, when they say double. When Boston people, that's a Boston thing for sure.
I'm gonna do a large French vanilla double, or extra.
Extra is the
extra
big,
what?
Extra. That's the big one there.
Sweetener?
Yeah.
What if sweet and low?
And you know what that means as a Boston person.
Yeah, sugar and milk. No question. And not fucking skim milk.
Oh, shit.
Whole milk.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And they know the difference.
Yes. It's fucking... Anyways. They know, those people, those diabetic... Pre-diabetic.
They don't even know they have diabetes, but they definitely...
Yeah. Their kids got juvenile diabetes because they think it's appropriate to give a kid more than one donut.
Remember Tang?
Oh, God.
That's another thing.
Surge. They look at Marcus Smart and they go, this guy is just like me. Couldn't be further from the truth. But he works hard.
Oh, yeah.
He makes Boston doesn't like lazy superstars. They like Marcus Smart,
James Harden,
Tony Allen, Kendrick Perkins. They like those guys that Larry Bird was not a superstar. Larry Bird is a superstar. Who was it?
No, I was just agreeing with you that Larry Bird is a superstar.
He was a superstar.
Grinders.
Grinders. Yeah. Larry Bird also ended his career because he tried to pave his own driveway.
Yeah.
That's
Robert Parrish.
Yes. So we love those guys. So when they fuck up, it's like, I'm not going to be mad. I can't because you just made up for it on the other end. Here's a hot take. There's something about Jason Tatum I don't like. There's something about...
What is it?
I just don't know. I think Jaylen Brown is a better... I have it pulled up, and I didn't know we were going to discuss this, but I literally had this tab open on my laptop. No, I was sitting here this morning thinking about this.
What does the tab say?
Player comparison, Jason Tatum versus Jaylen Brown. This season. I'm just comparing them this season.
Yes.
Jason Tatum's stat line. 26 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists.
Okay.
He played in 76 games. 10 more games than Jaylen Brown. Okay. I guess Jaylen Brown was injured or whatever. Jaylen Brown, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. It's pretty much the same stat line. If Jaylen Brown had more shots, I think he's just as good as Jason Tatum. I just don't like this kind of like LA swag. And I know Jason Tatum's from St. Louis and it's a blue collar city and it's a good city. But there's something about him. It's like Kobe-esque because he looks up to Kobe so much that he just, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Well,
maybe because
if you're talking about, are you saying like how he is, like
his game? Not him as a person.
Okay,
he's clearly a fantastic, great dad.
But you haven't really like said anything about his game that like really is different from like Jaylen. You just said you don't like the way he is. You haven't. Really
he complains a lot. He complains to the refs every other play.
Every single fucking NBA player does that though.
But he does it at an all-time high level. I think he thinks he's a bigger superstar than he is. Number one. And I think he complains to the ref because he's like, I should be getting the same calls as LeBron.
Well, he is a superstar, despite what you think.
How do you define superstar?
He just won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and he was a first-team All-Team Defense. First-team All-Star. Like, he's a superstar.
Okay,
Jason Tatum's a superstar.
Fair. Yeah. He was. I was surprised to see him on the first. I was very happy to see him on first-team All-NBA. Absolutely.
I mean, but who's a better three guard in the Eastern Conference than him?
Oh, that's right, because they do it by position.
They do it by position.
You're right. Okay. Now what I'm doing. If you look
if you're looking at primarily from his game, just everything you just said about him, he just pretty much demolished what you just said because of what he did in the fourth quarter last game. That last game, like, just pretty much solidified everything. Because this is the thing with Jason Tatum, right? Their games are very, very, they're different.
It's very different.
They're different. Jaylen Brown is a slasher.
Yeah.
I was even saying yesterday when I was watching the game 7 with Miami, I was like, yo, just give it to Jaylen and let Jaylen drive because no one can stop Jaylen going to the hole.
Yeah.
Hero couldn't guard him. None of the guards could guard Jaylen.
You can get to the basket whenever at a Ginobili pace.
At a very, very finessey, he has a very, very, very deceptive first step.
Yes.
You know?
That's an ESPN level
Yeah.
Observation.
Is it like Kendrick Perkins ESPN, or is it like Stephen A. Smith?
No, yeah, it's a more Stephen A. Smith, but you would have had to. And by the way, you don't know this,
right?
But Jaylen Brown has a very deceptive first step.
He's got a deceptive first step.
The Stephen A. is like, you don't know this, I know this.
So, and Tatum is more of like, get the ball. He's gonna make a jab step. He's gonna create. Yeah. Brown dribbles, goes. So it's a very different way of, very different, right? And Brown and Tatum shooting wise, I have to look at their field goal percentage, but they're probably not off by that much. But Tatum takes a lot more shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
listen, they're both on there, and they both were drafted at the same lottery pick. Like, they were drafted third. Both of them were drafted third.
Yeah.
So they. You know, people are afraid, like you said, I'm not saying, like, I think Jaylen Brown this is what I want you to do. I think Jaylen Brown he doesn't want to be a superstar. Mm-hmm. Jaylen Brown is exactly where he is because of how he is as a person. Like, it's okay. He likes to defer to Jason Tatum.
Sure.
He wants to be like, the guy that's like,
I don't know what it is though. Like, I don't know why I feel this way. And this doesn't have to be me psychoanalyzing. It's just
they're both like they both have the same swagger.
Yeah.
They're not loud guys.
Yeah.
They're not very vocal guys. Like, in terms of they're not as vocal as like a LeBron. Like, I'm talking about other superstars, like vocal guys.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, they're not like him.
Yeah.
They're very reserved, but they have their moments where like they.
I think I just wanted to say to, like, we see you, Jaylen Brown. Like, you could get a max contract on another team easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
You could be making double what you're making.
And he probably will.
What I'm saying is that I don't want it to get to that point. I think I'm worrying about something that I don't even need to worry about for another 2 or 3 years.
Well, that's what you do normally.
Yes. Yeah. You know this about me.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
But Jason Tatum, what I would like to see a little bit more of Jason Tatum is be a little bit more vocal, right?
Okay, that's part of it too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But aside from his game, also I like to him be a little bit more stronger. I don't like him when he goes to the hole, he gets stripped a lot.
He does the sweep
move, and I think Brown is a little bit better of being stronger and finishing, and like he doesn't get. Jason Tatum last moment, he'll go by and they'll swipe it. And he's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe he's bringing the ball a little bit more lower. He needs to swipe a little bit more harder.
He keeps the ball below his waist.
He's below his waist. Yeah. But the guy, man, I mean, dude, like, Tatum is
so talented.
Yeah. I mean, he will go down as, if he wins a chip, if they win 2, hopefully they win 1. Let me ask you a question. Let's spin this question again. Let me ask you a different question. Let's go back to Marcus Smart for a second. If Marcus Smart wins a championship with the Celtics, right, and he's been in the league, I want to say since 2012. Did he get drafted in 2013?
I think 13 or 14.
Okay, so he's been right. So he's been probably, let's say, 7 years, right, at the low end, 7 8 years with us. Do you think that if he finishes his career with the Boston Celtics and if he does win a championship, or maybe two, because they're still young, but let's just go the conservative route. Let's say if he wins one championship, finishes the Boston Celtics, finishes his career with the Boston Celtics, and let's say he wins another, let's say, defensive player, right? Does he go down as one of the best Celtics of all time and gets his jersey raised?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Really?
No question. I've been to 3 banner ceremonies, and I can tell you right now, I was shocked when Kevin Garnett got his number retired. Happy. Kevin Garnett was one of my favorite players growing up. I was so excited to get him. He was only here for 5 years.
Oh, how? But I don't understand why you would think Kevin. Why is it more shocking that Kevin Garnett wouldn't have been than Marcus Smart? I don't understand.
I would say Marcus Smart has been here longer, and if he does win a championship, it makes more sense.
I think you're forgetting the impact that Kevin Garnett had when he came to this team. He changed everything.
He did. I wasn't.
And also, he won a championship his first year. So
was it his first or his second year?
First year.
Okay.
The first year that the Big Three got together, they won the championship.
Was it?
Yeah.
And then they spent like the 3 years after that trying
in the Eastern Conference.
2010, they went to the finals and Kobe beat them because
they went to the Eastern Conference Finals or the finals every year.
I'm happy. By the way, I'm happy that Jason Tatum is our star. I'm very pro Jason Tatum and this argument, but there is just that thing I think you mentioned where it's the difference between, and what sparked this was you bringing up Kevin Garnett. The reason I loved Kevin Garnett and was like, this is our guy,
right, is
because of how vocal he was.
Yeah.
And you don't get that from Jason Tatum, which I think can sometimes be a little frustrating.
It could be frustrating because we are a vocal city.
Yeah.
Right. And we like to mirror our players. Right. Like even a guy like Brian Scalabrine, who barely got in the game. But when he did get in the game, people went crazy. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he always played hard. Right. Walter McCarty, your guy.
My guy.
Your guy.
Walter's my guy.
You know, people love certain players.
Yep.
Right. I mean, these guys are different, right? They're just different in how but they're professionals though. Mm-hmm. You know, like, let me tell you this. Would you rather have Jason Tatum or James Harden on the basketball team?
Jason Tatum, no question.
Why?
Because he does more. He does more, and he is learning how to facilitate and make the people around him better. I think, being frustrated, and I say this because like it's part of me is the old fan of being like, I want the Kevin Garnetts of the world. I want, but the reason I would take Jason Tatum over James Harden, well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, I think James Harden is like checked out mentally. You can't have $500 million sitting in the bank. Some people can, some people can't, and can continue to play like you're still trying to get a contract. It's tough. I don't like his game. I don't like I don't like James Harden's game at all. I don't like you travel. Mm-hmm. James Harden, if you're listening, you travel.
He's definitely listening.
You travel. That doesn't count. You travel.
Right.
And yeah, I don't like the heavy 3-point game. I think Jason Tatum has an incredible ability to get to the hole.
He's fouled. Jason Tatum has a better overall game,
100%,
than James Harden. Yeah. James Harden is just so good though, like scoring at will. I don't know if he has it anymore. He did his Houston days, Oklahoma days for sure. When he went to Brooklyn and he went to the Philly, I didn't see it. First of all, with the James Harden thing, I loved him when he was at Oklahoma, when he was 6 man. Right? He was fucking a stud, right? And then he got traded to Houston, became what he was, and then ended up being traded to the Nets, and then went to the Philly, right? But the thing is with James Harden, the reason why I can't really put him as one of the greats, and I wouldn't give him a max super contract at this point, because you got to be able to play both ends of the court for me.
You
bro.
have to.
That's
you
just
have
me.
to.
I don't give a fuck I don't care what you're saying to me. Like, if I'm giving you super max, you have to play defense and offense.
Yes.
I'm not like, I don't know why it's so hard for people to understand this. Why is it so hard for people to understand this concept? No, it's okay. He could just score. Like, you know how many times I've seen James Harden he'll get the ball stolen from him, run half-assed, and just give up.
No, I'm out.
Or he'll just let people drive by him because it's like, I'm
there with you, dude. That's part of it. Yeah, no, it's this laissez-faire, mental kind of like, I don't want to say mental midget. I don't think that's the right way to word it. But like, because he's an incredibly smart basketball player. I don't like that. Like, I'm just going to take this playoff. What does it matter? I don't like that. I like Giannis.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Some fucking psychopathic, great guy. He doesn't really talk about the game in the press conference. He talks about dad jokes. When he gets on the court, he's ready to kill someone.
Every time.
Yeah. And I like how vocal he is.
He's vocal.
I would take him over Jason Tatum because I favor big men. I like big men.
I mean,
pause.
Wow. Wow. All right.
I do. I take a power forward. Joel Embiid.
Okay.
Watched an interview with him recently. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly cerebral. Surprisingly in the sense of, because you don't really hear him talk much, and sometimes when he does say things, you're just like, oh, dude, why are you throwing your teammates under the bus? Does things for a reason. I think he knows a little bit more.
He knows the inside of like more what's going on.
Yeah,
that's why with the Ben Simmons thing, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that Ben Simmons left Philly, and I love the way he left Philly. I like how it happened with him and Joel Embiid, if it's actually true, because Joel Embiid's like, bro, you don't want to play here? We don't fucking care. Go.
Yeah, leave.
Yeah, you think I'm 7'2" from Cameroon or Uganda or Matumbo land, whatever the fuck he's from. You know what I mean? My people, of course. But he's like, dude, we're here to win.
Yeah,
I don't have time for we just got you. Like you know what I mean?
I like how Embiid, and I like Joel Embiid. At first, I just didn't understand. I just didn't get his thing, and I didn't like how out of shape he was.
Well, I mean,
stop fucking bitching, and you're out of shape. You're eating fucking McDonald's at the game. Like, what the fuck?
I love
Pulled it together, got his weight together, is playing hard. He's figuring it out. I think he's figuring it out, and he is who he is.
Yeah. I would love Joel Embiid on the Celtics, or a Greek freak, Giannis on the Celtics.
Giannis belongs on the Celtics in the Celtics.
You know, two players that should be on the Celtics that would have gone down as one of the best Celtics of all time.
Kobe Bryant.
96 we should have drafted him. We didn't. We passed him up. But let's more current.
Dirk?
Nope.
More current.
Kevin Durant and Giannis.
Oh, because they went low in the draft. They went high in the draft.
Giannis went first round, but was like 16th, 13th or something. KD was number 2. But what I'm saying is when we had the chance to get KD on it when he was a free agent, when Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
And then he had the chance to play with Tatum and Brown. Kevin Durant should have came here.
I like Kevin Durant.
He should have came here.
I think he's misunderstood.
He would have been. I think Kevin Durant should, when he left Golden State, he could have resurrected his career in a different way. He could have pivoted his career in Boston as his own thing and his own team. Because at that point, it would have been his team. And Tatum would have followed suit. Brown would have followed suit. And then if he won 2 championships here and went somewhere else, then Tatum could have stepped in as the superstar, and then they would have been right with it.
Yeah. I think everything happened the way that it was supposed to happen, I like how it happened. But I do play these scenarios because I play NBA 2K on my phone, and you can trade and do all this stuff. So I do think, and I've played with both. I personally, I think Kevin Durant, like that 3-point game, like 7-footer, shoots the 3. Like, God, he would have been great. People would love him.
He would have been great here.
But like the thing I just don't like, he wouldn't have.
No, he would have been great here.
Because I think the social aspect of dealing with the media in Boston, I think like they wouldn't have been hard on him. Thinks because he wins.
Because he wins.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They wouldn't have been hard on him. Like they would have as soon as he came in, because he's coming from a winning pedigree anyways.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been pressured on him. Like they would have really like, you know what I mean? And he would have held it. They would have held it pretty good. My question to you is now they're facing the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals, right? Now their first game is in San Francisco. The first two games, right? The first game's Thursday, 9 p.m.
Obviously,
best out of 7. What's your take? What's your projection at this point for the Celtics in this series? What should they do and what they shouldn't do?
Well, I think if the NBA wants the Celtics to win,
oh, here we go.
I do think there's an element of that. I really, really do. Either in the first half of the game and then they let them play the second half out, or if it's games, they let them play half the series. Like I do think there's influence from the refs there. So I think a narrative of the Celtics defeat. I think the narrative right now is we got the Celtics to the NBA Finals. They're a dynasty. They're a historically great winning dynasty. They're back. They got Tatum. They got Brown. They got Marcus Smart. They got that great storyline.
Al Horford. We didn't even talk about
Al
him
Horford. Yet. I'm a big Al Horford.
In my opinion, if it wasn't like he could have easily got MVP for me.
Big Al Horford fan. Yeah.
He was huge this series.
Big time. Big. I think that's a compelling story. And I think these are the two narratives that I see.
Okay.
The old guard loses to the new Celtics. They're back. I think there's a lot more juice left in Golden State, though. That's the thing. I think Golden State is coming off of incredible adversity, having their 2 star players have serious injuries. They're coming back, losing Kevin Durant. You know, I think that whole...
Did they really lose him, though? Did they really lose anything by losing Kevin Durant?
Of course, yeah. I mean, he averaged 30 points a game or some crazy thing like that.
They just made it to the finals without him.
I heard this take.
And they made it to the finals before him.
So I think Steph Curry's out to prove something. I think he's out to get an MVP.
He already won.
MVP, Finals MVP, doesn't have one.
He doesn't need to prove anything.
Doesn't have one. I think he thinks he has to be. Of course, he's a champion. He has to conquer the next milestone, the next achievement. I think my take on this is I think Warriors in 6.
First of all,
I think the Warriors in 6.
Say another word. Did you just fucking pick the Warriors?
No, the Celtics are going to win. I'm a Boston sports fan, so the Celtics are going to win. Now, if you're asking me to be an analyst, I think the Warriors have been playing together longer. Everything we do, they do better.
Okay. All right.
So, but if Adam Silver wants the Celtics to win, then the Celtics are going to win in 7.
I think it's going to go...
What do you think?
I think it's going to go 7.
Okay,
I think it's going to go 7. I think that we will win one game. We'll split one game there. They'll split in Boston as well.
Yes.
We will go back there and win, and then they come back here and win, and then Game 7 is in Golden State, and that will define what's going to happen. They are a fast team. They have perimeter shooting. They can go up 9 to 12 points in a minute.
Yes.
So what we have to do is the thing is I was scared. What we have to work on is our turnover ratio with the Golden State, because the thing is with them, they can capitalize on turnovers to points really quick, but not to 2s, to 3s.
Yes.
Transition defense is going to have to be huge for the Boston Celtics. They're going to have to really play the half court game really well, which they do. And they're gonna have to run back on defense, and if they make mistakes, they're gonna have to run them off the line on the 3-point line. They're gonna be tired, man.
The Warriors have a good bench too.
Yeah.
The Warriors have a really good bench. They've been playing. Their level. They're better. Unfortunately, I think in this situation they're better. They have much more cohesion. They've played together for a while. I just think that they have more of what it takes. They're built for the playoffs.
Okay, so let's break it down. Starting 5, Golden State. Who guards Steph? Celtics.
Who guards him?
Who guards
Marcus Smart.
Okay. Who guards Klay Thompson?
Klay is at what, 2? At the 2? Jaylen Brown.
Okay. Who guards Draymond?
Jason Tatum.
Okay. Who's their 4 guy? Who's their 4 guy for Golden State?
I think we have
Golden State.
Jordan Poole.
Is it Poole? Is it Poole's
Kevin Looney? No. Kevin. Andrew Wiggins. Who's their starting 5? I'll look it up right now.
Do you mind looking it up? Because I would just want to see the matchup, like, because I'm not really sold on Wiggins yet. So I don't know if he's going to show up, in this series. This is his first, like, real NBA Finals. And he just started to become, like, his own person the last 2 seasons with Golden State. Mm-hmm. So, obviously the big 3 for the Golden State is always going to come ready. Draymond, Klay, and Steph, right? But they don't have another firepower person coming out. Like, you know what I mean? We have scores all over. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
We got scores all over.
Well, when they want to, when they want to score, when they think that,
All right.
All right. Let's see here. This is the last match that this is the last, go ahead.
I think it's gonna be a little bit more surprising than people think. I don't think the scoring is gonna be as high for the Celtics. I think they're gonna be more committed on defense. You're not gonna see like a 120-point game by the Celtics with Golden State. I think they're gonna commit to defense, and they're gonna really try to run them off the line, 3-point line. They just gotta contain. They gotta be able to recover though. Because, woo.
Yeah, I think for some reason they're not doing starting lineups, or I'm just
okay.
So I personally think the Warriors are just so good. They're just so good.
So are you picking the Warriors to win the series? Like your projection as of right now?
All right. So here are the probable starting lineups.
Okay.
I'll make my prediction after this.
Okay.
Jason Tatum versus Draymond Green. I think if Draymond Green really gets under his skin, he could. I think Jason Tatum comes out on that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Al Horford versus Otto Porter. I think Big Al's fine there.
Yep.
Robert Williams versus Kevin Looney. Kevin Looney's good.
Yeah.
Robert Williams is coming off a knee injury.
Sure.
Steph Curry versus Jaylen Brown. Or Steph Curry versus Klay Thompson. I think Klay has one of the best games of his life. Game 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then you get Steph Curry versus Marcus. It's a good matchup. Look, it's a good matchup.
They're playing the best defensive team.
The Celtics will win in 7.
Okay. Oh, okay.
The Celtics will win in 7, but I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State won in 6. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
It's definitely not going to be a sweep. Obviously, I don't even know why I said that, but
yeah,
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think we hold our own. It's just like I think this will be the first test for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown together.
Oh yeah,
as leaders, as superstars.
Oh, yeah,
what are you going to do? Because Marcus Smart can only do so much.
Right, and he should only do so much.
Yes.
They should be able to kind of take that away from him, that responsibility away from him, because he's got so many other responsibilities. He's the point guard, so he's the person that drives the offense. He's also the best defensive player on the team, so he actually drives the defense.
Yep.
And also you want him to fucking score too?
It's wild.
Dude, like, you guys got to go. You know what I mean? That's why the last game when they played Miami in Game 7, they had to come out hot.
Mm-hmm.
If the Celtics come out strong, right, they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's when they play catch-up is where I get worried about.
Yeah, I also think, we're not discussing the bench much. Like,
well, we don't play deep anyways. We play like 7 deep, if that, 8. If, Ime doesn't really go deep on the bench.
I'd like to see.
Which I would like to see. I would like to see a little bit more Pritchard. I'd like to say Naismith in there.
Naismith is a great defender.
Undercover great defender.
Yes.
Strong, kind of like a Jaylen. Shoots better than Jaylen.
Kind of.
Athletic.
Yeah.
I would like to see him.
He's like a poor man's Jaylen Brown.
I don't even think he's a poor. I think
Jaylen Brown would light him up in one-on-one.
Well, he's got to play.
Yeah. No. I get what you're saying, but
right.
on paper with what's actually been done results wise.
Sure.
I mean, I'd like to see Peyton Pritchard light them the fuck up.
He's going to be key. The bench is definitely going to be the key for sure. Pritchard, Grant Williams. I don't know if Grant's starting. I don't know if he started, but
I don't think so.
Grant Williams, Pritchard. I don't even think Tyson's probably getting no rotation. Yeah,
I think you got to put Tyson to rough up. See, I also think too, it depends on what kind of game they're calling, right? Like you have to be. He's gonna. Ime is gonna have to adjust during the game. I mean, this is something that most people don't think of like as a coach, where it's like, oh, they're calling it. They're calling every little tick-tacky thing,
right?
Or they're letting us play, and we're gonna have to go deeper. We're gonna have to put Tyson to rough some people up. Like it's gonna be interesting to see.
It's gonna be interesting to see. Yeah, it's. I mean, if I was to ask you at the beginning of the season if the Celtics would be in the NBA Finals, what would have been your answer?
No way. Not at this pace.
Okay, so are you saying that they exceeded expectations?
Exceeded expectations.
Wow.
Exceeded expectations. Jaylen Brown exceeded expectations. Jason Tatum exceeded expectations.
Okay. But did they though? They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals two times already.
Now they got to the finals. Now they're in the finals.
So have they exceeded expectations? If they've already,
I think they've had a tougher match. I think they've had. This is easily, if you look at the teams that they're going against, I think it's tougher.
Oh, way better. Yeah. I mean, Brooklyn.
I think it got increasingly harder.
Yeah. And they've overcame these like adversities.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's going to help them with Golden State. Because they played Brooklyn Nets, KD, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin.
Not afraid of the stars.
Not afraid.
Nope.
Milwaukee.
They're not starstruck.
Returning champs, Greek Freak, other guys, Lopez.
Even though Middleton was gone, that's a tough team.
Ooh, Middleton changes the game a little bit.
It affected it, yeah.
Yeah, but then you play Miami, it goes 7 games. They should have won it in 6 or 5. But
well, don't get me wrong. Like there were injuries on the opposing teams.
Tyler Hero was like a key loss for that team.
Huge, and Jimmy Butler was injured.
Didn't look like it last game.
He looked pretty fucking good. Jeez. You want to talk about someone I wish we had on the Celtics?
Who?
Jimmy Butler. I'll take Jimmy Butler any day of the week. Any day of the week.
Imagine Greek Freak and Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum on the same team.
No, that's an unfair lineup. That's a 2K lineup right there. I can see, Greek Freak and Jimmy Butler on the same team.
Yep.
It might be too headstrong. Who's the leader? Or maybe not. Maybe I think I just am so impressed with Jimmy Butler. I think he would be like, okay, this is his team. I'm gonna own the defense. I'm gonna own the certain aspect of this.
Jimmy Butler, the last 2 games had the best. He probably had the best game of his career. The last 2 games, especially the game 6.
47 did he have?
Everything was going in for him. He was in the zone. I'm very interested in the series. I'm very interested in what's going to happen. Hopefully Marcus Smart doesn't shoot 4 threes with 3 minutes.
Oh,
left.
for 4 with less than 5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, when you have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the court and Al Horford. Now, in his defense, when Jason Tatum was bringing up the ball, anytime under 5 minutes, they were double teaming Jason Tatum, so he wasn't able to get a clear look. But it's just like, dude.
Yeah, Marcus those were wide open shots too, so it's kind of like you want him to shoot, but maybe drive to the basket.
Drive. That's why I was like, stop shooting. I'm not a big fan of this new NBA shooting shit.
No.
If you shot 3-4 straight times, threes, and it's not going in, throw it to Big Al a little bit.
Yeah.
Let him post up a little bit. Al's a great fucking passer in the low post.
Yeah.
He's going to find you, man.
Yep.
Use him, The
one thing I miss about having Kyrie Irving on the Celtics was that from a skills perspective, you could see Marcus Smart picking up a lot of Kyrie's really good habits around driving to the basket, creating attention, and then passing the ball close to the basket.
He did it quite a few times.
And you could really see Marcus's game change. And I think it's kind of like, I think he's had to evolve into whatever the situation calls for, but I kind of miss having that true point guard as mentally erratic, or not mentally erratic. I watched an interview with Kyrie Irving the other day. He was on the I Am Athlete. Was on the Pivot or I Am Athlete? I Am Athlete.
Okay.
I like Kyrie Irving. Not for us.
I think you're... yeah.
I would never, ever want him on my basketball team.
Yeah.
But I get it.
You're over it.
I get it. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've stopped. I think there's this thing in the media where like people are looking at these athletes and not, it's easier for them to segment and say it's an athlete. He's got a job to do. Just do the job and be quiet, or do the job and like don't have. So I used to be like that, but now it's kind of like, yeah, I get Kyrie. I understand.
I feel it's kind of unfair for these athletes though, because they're being thrown in and they're in a generation time where it's like they're thrown into this thing, and they're being asked questions that are unrelated to basketball, and with all the things that are happening, it's hard for them not to actually say anything based on the circumstances. I feel like they didn't ask for this stuff.
I don't think it's unfair. I think it's a tougher climate to be a celebrity in.
It's way tougher.
Yeah, it's way tougher, which is why I actually am so much more impressed with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
That's why it makes them
because
more
of how they, yeah. Again, I like Jason Tatum. I respect how he plays the game. I think he plays the game the right way. He's a two-way player. I love his jump shot. I think he's got a unique jump shot. But there are just a couple things where I'm kind of like, I want my superstar to be impervious. Impervious to bad calls. Bad call. Okay, let it go. Go down the other end of the court. Play defense. And a little bit more impassioned, which I think he's getting.
Yeah.
That's it. I think I figured out why I get a little frustrated with him.
Yeah. And again, and also don't forget, he's also only 23,
23 years old.
That's what we're forgetting. So that,
23.
Yeah. What the fuck you were doing at 23?
Oh, dude.
With you and your structure fucking pants. Fucking shitting on Tatum. Fucking
pleated khakis. Working at Enterprise.
Yeah. Jason Tatum needs to be more.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's not more mature with his. He's 23 years old with a son and a mother of the son that he takes care of. You can tell that Jason Tatum is a good dad. You can tell.
Oh, yes, my man.
You can tell he's a great dad. You could also tell he's a great co-parent. He treats his. You can just.
He was raised
that he was raised the right way. Same with Jaylen Brown. I think honestly,
I want them to play
most of the Celtics.
The whole Celtics way of. I don't know if it was Danny Ainge responsible for this. He strategically put and recruited certain players. And if you notice, we never really had any issues with players here.
Not outside
from the game of basketball.
Yeah.
I don't want to say develops, but they bring in a certain breed of individuals. Because part of it, you have to be able to handle the pressures of the media with Boston sports. You have to be a certain individual. You can't be fucking. I mean, Kevin Garnett was like an anomaly. He was different, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, he took accountability for everything.
Yeah.
That's why he could go out and swear and do crazy shit.
Yeah.
But he never was a troublemaker off the court either. There has never been anyone like.
I just thought of one.
Ooh.
But not while he was with us. Big Baby.
No, I'm talking about just like post 2008.
Oh, okay.
The new age of like the new
like very true. Very true.
The Jaylen Browns, the Jason Tatums, the Marcus Smarts, Pritchards, Grant Williams, Robert Williams.
All good guys.
They're all kind of they seem like they're like old souls, young old souls.
Yes. Yeah.
Fabric to them.
You look at You look at a Peyton Pritchard, and you look at like a like a Grant Williams.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
you know what I'm saying? They have a certain attitude about them that's very evenly distributed.
Yeah.
It's evenly distributed. They have a certain poise to them.
Yeah, everyone gets the memo. They're not emotionally depleted like the people that play in the Patriots, those poor bastards that have to deal with Bill Belichick in that like I mean, they win, so there's an element of that, I think. But yeah, you look at other like organizations, and it's just like, ugh, you don't know what you're going to
There's no Antonio Brown attitude guys on the Celtics.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what it is? It's like Antonio Brown, Kyrie shit, where it's kind of just like, yes, you can have that opinion. I love Kyrie, what he's doing with, indigenous people and helping raise awareness and money and all that stuff.
I know it's coming. I know it's coming. There we go.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Socially, whatever. And also Antonio Brown. Yeah, man. You want to take your shirt off? Yes. You can do whatever you want to do. It's like a child. You can do whatever. Yes, we get it. You're an adult. You're a grown up. You can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
But you can go do it on another fucking team because all we're about here is winning. Yeah. You get paid to win.
We don't need the other.
See ya. And that's the kind of organization that has 17 championships, that is successful, that is revered, that people might not like. Well, guess what? If you don't like, I love Duke. They win. If you don't like winners, you're a fucking loser. Seriously, like, I get it. You like the underdog. People want to like the underdog. My buddy Tyler the Cop loves underdog teams. Loves underdog teams. Okay. Hates Duke. Loves UConn.
Hates Duke.
Hates Duke.
A lot of people don't
loves
like Duke.
you. I get it. I think also there's an air of like, it's a little monochromatic over there. It's a little uncomfortable.
I don't even know what that word means.
But I like winners. I like people that win. You can hate them because they said something, or you can hate them because they act a certain way or they talk a certain. It's like, but they fucking win. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what Ime is like starting to build the culture back up here in Boston of like, I don't care about your fucking clothing line.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah, he does, and he doesn't.
Yeah. And so you can, yes, you have the right to not get vaccinated. You absolutely do. Right. You're going to impact the team, and we're going to have to make accommodations, or there's going to be things. And I don't even know the extent of what the Celtics are like with their policy wasn't that, but like, you don't see any issues with the Celtics on that shit. You don't see any issues with the pay. Like, it's okay. You can be you, or you can be a member of this team.
Let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
So with going forward with the series and everything, you see us obviously, hopefully winning in 7. But if you was to go the other way, you're saying it's Golden State in 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we do lose the finals, would you say that it was I don't want to say waste, but was it? What should they look forward to next year, to next season?
I don't. That's Ime calling right now.
Yep. Coach Ime.
Coach. Yep. So the question is, if they will lose, is it a failure? Yeah. For the Boston Celtics mindset, yes.
Based on your winning type of mentality,
yes.
You just said.
Yes. It is technically, yes, it is a failure.
But you said previously that they exceeded your expectations.
They did.
So how can they fail if they exceeded expectations when they more went to win anyway?
Well, my expectations and the expectations of Celtics and just plain old fact, like on paper fact. Yes, on paper you failed. You had one more game to win and you didn't win it. So now you're an Eastern Conference champion. Congrats.
But everything on paper doesn't really measure the whole body of what happened.
Yes. I think story-wise and being bought into the team long-term, I think it was this is already a huge win for us. But I think when you look at like the Kobe Bryants, the Jordans, that mentality, the reason they're winners, the reason that they're the way that they are is because they're like, the job's not finished.
Right.
We didn't stop celebrating the Eastern Conference Finals. That means nothing.
Yeah, right.
Go to the fucking finals and win, then you can celebrate.
Yeah. Kobe, yes.
Yeah.
Attitude,
I mean,
that Tim Duncan attitude.
End of the day,
yeah.
No one's going to remember a good Eastern Conference final unless you're like a fucking nut sports fan.
Unless you're back in the 90s where like the Bulls played the Knicks and those type of things.
Yeah. But even still, when the greatest players of all times, no one's bringing up Patrick Ewing because he never won anything.
That's an interesting take.
In a social setting.
Yeah.
In a setting of we're talking about sports.
Right.
People remember winners. And if they won, it will be like a whoa. Remember the time that they were shit 8th place and they ended up beating Steph Curry in a healthy Golden State Warriors team?
Sometimes the cards are not in your favor. Sometimes you could have everything lined up perfectly, but it just doesn't go your way. Charles Barkley never won a championship. He's had, that Phoenix Suns team was probably his best chance to win one.
Yeah.
They lost Chicago. Michael. That
he
sucks.
stood in a lot of people's way. Yeah.
Yeah. Patrick Ewing, sure.
Clyde Drexler.
Yeah. I'll even give you two times they could have won a championship. The Utah Jazz. Karl Malone and John Stockton.
They never won a championship. That's right. Yeah, look, those are great players, and some of them are like Karl Malone. I think is like what 3rd in scoring or something.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah. Great Hall of Fame players. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I think, as a sports fit, you have to win.
You gotta win.
Yeah, you gotta win.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta win. What do you think? Who do you think is going to be the X factor in this series? The X factor, not your. Well, it can be whatever.
The X factor,
not what people expect, but if this the X factor is the thing that does well, that comes out of nowhere, where you're like, oh man, and don't forget,
Grant Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's gonna be stretched like as a stretch 4, maybe stretch 5, depending on because, yeah, he's gonna have to hit some shot. He had a great few games early, but the last 2 games he did not shoot well at all. Yeah. He missed some really key shots last game. Yeah, I think it's gonna be him.
He's gonna finish around the basket. He's got to play defense, catch lobs.
Yeah, and they got to run.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got to run. They got to use their young guys, the Tatums, the Browns, the Pritchards. They got to run. Horford is going to be the one that's actually going to be the piece, though.
The
glue, where he's going to have to be like, all right, we need to settle down. And I'm going to be honest with you. Obviously, Jason Tatum is fantastic, and he's going to be the MVP. I think he already won the Eastern Conference MVP. My MVP for the whole fucking thing from the beginning to end has always been Al Horford.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Al Horford made some
consistent
stops the last 3 minutes yesterday against Butler.
Yep.
And bam. He was holding ground, man. He was just getting in the way of shots, deflecting shots, just making it hard for them. He was
I think it's between him and Marcus Smart. I think the two of them, I think Al is the most consistent player on the Celtics. Mm-hmm. Consistency. Mm-hmm. I think the most valuable player. I don't think the Celtics can do anything without Marcus Smart. Because I think he brings leadership, and I think he brings a toughness that only him and Al Horford really possess.
Yeah.
Consistency. Toughness of you just got knocked to the ground, but we still have a quarter to play.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think Golden State is not tougher than us.
No, I don't think so.
They're not tougher than us. So I think it's going to be a bully type of thing. We're not gonna even hedge screens. We're gonna fight through the screens. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We're gonna bump them off. I'm telling you, Golden State, if they think they're just gonna be able to come down and shoot and come
razzle
off screens,
dazzle,
it's not happening.
No, you're right. Yeah, that's the thing I think we forget too, is because I don't say you clearly don't forget, but I will sometimes look at it and go, oh yeah, we fucking manhandle some of these people. We are manhandling some of these teams, and that used to be Philly, Miami.
Yeah, Miami. Yep. Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Those were the teams. Chicago.
Milwaukee was
Chicago's definitely used to.
Yeah, Milwaukee was a setup for it to be a physical series, and we did fine.
And then you're like, oh fuck, you're like we're fighting through screens.
Robert Williams is 7 feet tall, 7'1", dude. He's not, and he's a these guys this Celtics team is a physical team. They're a very underrated physical team in the eyes of the mainstream media. Like, you know what I mean? But when you see them like actually play, how they switch, how they're bumping people, how they're going after loose balls, how they're like. Al Horford was boxing out Bam. Bam didn't get a rebound the last 4 or 5 minutes.
They did. Yeah, they were talking about that at ESPN where he was kind of
well, they took my idea.
Where he was contained.
Yeah. So
interesting.
It's gonna be interesting. So this is gonna be fun to watch them, go through this, and we'll definitely talk about this for sure on future episodes. But it's hard for us not to talk about. Boston Celtics in the finals. We have to talk about it.
Yeah. I think for us, what's basketball and football? I think for me, it's just basketball. That's really my expertise.
Basketball's been my main sport ever since I was like in the second grade.
Yeah.
Basketball and comedy is just always been. If I wasn't doing stand up comedy, I would be pursuing
involved in basketball.
I'd be going coaching, being an agent, something like it'd be or to be quite honest with you, probably lace them back up again. All right, maybe that was all right, maybe we should wrap this up. Maybe. Well, guys, this was appreciate the episode. And you guys listening, this was Cut to the Chase podcast, special edition Boston Celtics episode with me, Nicky Neighborhoods. It was fun. We will be talking about the finals. So I appreciate you guys listening and tuning in. Please rate, subscribe to the podcast. We have the episodes up on all podcast platforms. Please follow me at Chase Abel, Instagram, ChaseAbel. I have also a website that has a very cute picture of myself. And it's called www.chaseable.com. So go on there. Nicky, what you got?
Pain in my aside, and just go on the YouTube and subscribe. We're gonna do some special things with once we get to a certain number. It's like we want to reward people that are following and engaging with us. So we'll figure something out. But we're at 3. We're trying to get to 20 by the end of the month.
Yeah, right. That's good.
Yeah, we're trying to get to 20. Why not? 20's good.
Let's get 20.
20's good.
20 per month.
We get 20. The 20th subscriber gets a case of seltzer sent to them.
Oh,
grape seltzer, whatever they like.
Whatever you like.
Whatever they like. We'll send a thing of seltzer. We have to get to 20 on the YouTube though.
Guys, help us out.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time, guys. Nicky, thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Good up.
And guys, we'll be back next time. Thank you again for listening. Cut to Chase podcast. We out.